By June 1944, Germany had occupied France for 4 years. Getting them out would require the largest invasion in human history. 2 million American soldiers alone were waiting in Britain, the most powerful military force ever assembled waiting for one morning. Germany had spent 3 years building the Atlantic Wall, thousands of bunkers, gun emplacements, and obstacles along every possible invasion coast. Hitler called it impregnable. On the night of June 5th, 5,000 ships left English harbors simultaneously, moving in darkness, moving in silence. Germany had no idea. The Supreme Commander made the decision despite bad weather. He wrote a note accepting full responsibility if it failed and put it in his pocket. In German headquarters that night, nobody was alarmed. Bad weather meant safety. Germany went to sleep, and 5,000 ships kept coming. 5,000 ships. 156,000 men, moving through darkness toward heavily defended beaches. What happened next would decide the entire war. Operation Overlord had been in planning for 2 years, the largest combined military operation in history, requiring land, sea, and air forces from a dozen nations. Normandy was chosen because Germany expected the invasion at Pas de Calais, the shortest crossing. Normandy was the surprise. For months, the Allies fed Germany false information, fake armies, fake signals, fake plans. Germany moved its best divisions to Pas de Calais and kept them there even after the real invasion began. 5,000 ships, 11,000 aircraft, 156,000 men on day one. The logistics had never been attempted at this scale before. 13,000 paratroopers would jump behind the beaches in darkness to capture bridges and destroy gun batteries before the main landings began. The Atlantic Wall was formidable concrete bunkers, heavy guns, beach obstacles, minefields. Breaking through it in one morning seemed impossible, which is why Germany never believed anyone would try. In the days before the invasion, men wrote letters home. Some sealed them, "Only open this if I don't come back." Thousands of those letters were eventually opened. As darkness fell on June 5th, the plan was finally in motion. By morning, either the war had changed forever, or 156,000 men had died for nothing. At midnight, 13,000 paratroopers boarded their aircraft across airfields all over southern England. Most were 20 years old. Some were younger. Inside the aircraft, nobody spoke, each man alone with what he knew was coming. France ahead, German divisions waiting. 1 a.m., aircraft above, ships below. 156,000 men converging on the same 30 kilometers of French coastline from 2 directions. German radar detected something crossing the channel. Allied jamming made the picture unclear. By the time anyone understood what was coming, it was too late. At 1:30 a.m., the first paratroopers landed in France. Some hit their targets. Some landed miles away. Some landed in flooded fields and drowned before they could move. As dawn broke, German shore observers saw the fleet for the first time. Ships from horizon to horizon in every direction. The reports reaching headquarters seemed impossible. At 5:30 a.m., 6 battleships, 22 cruisers, and 93 destroyers opened fire simultaneously. The noise was heard in England. At 6 a.m., the landing craft hit the beach. The ramps went down, and the longest day began. At 6 a.m., 5 beaches, 156,000 men, all hitting the sand simultaneously along 50 kilometers of Normandy coastline. Utah Beach, the westernmost landing, went better than anyone had dared hope. Light resistance, low casualties. Americans were moving inland within hours. Gold, Juno, and Sword, the British and Canadian beaches faced fierce resistance, but broke through. By afternoon, Allied forces were moving inland on 4 of the 5 beaches. 4 beaches were going as planned. But on the 5th beach, something had gone catastrophically wrong, and it threatened to destroy the entire invasion. At Pointe du Hoc, American Rangers scaled a 30-meter cliff under direct fire to destroy German guns, threatening both Utah and Omaha beaches. Of 225 Rangers, only 90 could still fight by the end of the day. Inland paratroopers were holding bridges and road junctions against German counterattacks. Every minute they held was another minute the beach landings had to succeed. German command was paralyzed, convinced Normandy was a diversion. The Panzer Reserve that could have destroyed the landings sat idle for hours. The deception was still working. By midday, 4 beaches were secure, but Omaha was still in the balance. And if Omaha failed, the entire invasion could collapse.
Go, go, go! Keep moving up the beach! Watch the obstacle!
Omaha was a killing ground. A narrow beach overlooked by high bluffs. German bunkers with clear lines of fire across every inch of sand. There was nowhere to hide and no way around it. When the ramps dropped at Omaha, men were hit before their feet touched the sand. Some drowned under the weight of their equipment. Some never made it out of the landing craft. Men were pinned on the open sand. No cover, no way forward, no way back. The beach was filling with bodies. The landing was failing. The average life expectancy of a man who landed in the first wave at Omaha Beach was 4 minutes. The men who landed in the second wave stepped over the bodies of the first. Then individuals began moving. Not as organized units. As men who decided that staying on the beach meant dying, small groups found gaps in the wire and started climbing. By late morning, American soldiers were on top of the bluffs. The German defensive line was breaking. The beach that had seemed impossible to take was being taken one man at a time. By noon, Omaha was secured, at a cost of 2,000 American casualties in 6 hours, the bloodiest 6 hours in American military history. By noon, all 5 beaches were secure. The Atlantic Wall that Germany had spent 3 years building had been broken in 6 hours. The invasion had succeeded. By evening of June 6th, 156,000 men were ashore. The beachhead was established. The question now was whether Germany could push them back into the sea. The Normandy bocage, ancient hedgerows on earthen banks, turned every field into a fortress. Progress inland was measured in hundreds of meters per day. The Allies brought their own harbor, the Mulberry. Prefabricated concrete sections towed across the channel and assembled offshore. 2 million men would eventually be supplied through it. Every day the beachhead grew. Every day more men arrived. Germany threw everything it had at the Allied lines, but the deception still held. The Panzer Reserve still waited at Pas de Calais for an invasion that never came. Bayeux, the first French town liberated, fell on June 7th. French civilians who had lived under occupation for 4 years saw Allied soldiers for the first time. Some wept. Some simply stood in silence. By late June, the beachhead was secure and growing. The gamble had paid off. 2 million men would eventually flow through Normandy into the heart of German-occupied Europe. In German headquarters, the realization was dawning that Normandy could not be reversed. The Atlantic Wall had failed. The reserve had been held back too long. The war in the West was lost. In late July, Allied forces broke out of Normandy. The static battle became a pursuit. France was being liberated. Paris would fall within weeks, Berlin within a year. After the Normandy breakout, Germany collapsed across France. Divisions that had held for years were retreating in weeks. The liberation was moving faster than anyone had planned. Paris was liberated on August 25th, 4 years and 76 days after Germany had marched in. The city that had lived under occupation erupted into the streets. By autumn, Germany was being squeezed from both directions. The Soviets from the east, the Allies from the west. Berlin was caught between 2 converging forces. It could not stop. By autumn, Allied forces had crossed into Germany itself. The country that had launched the war was now being liberated from itself, whether it wanted to be or not. Germany launched one last offensive in December, the Battle of the Bulge. It pushed Allied forces back temporarily. Then it was contained and crushed. Germany had nothing left. In March 1945, Allied forces crossed the Rhine, Germany's last defensive barrier. The road to Berlin was open. The war was weeks from ending. By April 1945, Berlin was surrounded. The war that D-Day had made possible to win was days from ending. It had taken 11 months from the beaches of Normandy to the ruins of Berlin. The Normandy American Cemetery holds 9,387 graves, all killed in the Normandy campaign, all buried where they fell on the other side of the ocean from home. Today, Omaha Beach looks like any other beach. Calm, empty, unremarkable. The sand looks exactly the same. Only the cemetery on the bluff above tells you what happened here. Every year on June 6th, ceremonies are held on the beaches. The last surviving veterans of D-Day attend. Each year there are fewer. Soon there will be none. Only the cemeteries will remain. The Europe that exists today, free, democratic, at peace, was made possible on June 6, 1944. Every freedom taken for granted in Western Europe today has its roots in what happened on those 5 beaches. Behind every statistic of D-Day is a name. Behind every name, a person. Behind every person, a family that waited. 10,000 Allied casualties on June 6 alone. 10,000 names, 10,000 lives. D-Day was not the end of the war, it was the beginning of the end. 5,000 ships. One morning, and the world was never the same again.